What is going on, crypto fam? This is David with Sin City Crypto. I am joined by your and my co-host Robin, and today I want to bring you a short video talking about Three Arrows Capital, what they are, what investments they have their money in, and what the insolvency and bankruptcy of Three Arrows Capital would do to the entire crypto market. So let's jump right in. It's going to be a quick video. I want to pull up my laptop and just give you some background about Three Arrows Capital. So they were founded in 2012 by two gentlemen, Kyle Davies and Sun Tzu. They have a total of 62 investments. Average round size is about $46 million, 53 different portfolios, and they have been the lead investor on 7 of their investments. If you go take a look at where do they have most of their money? Well, most of their money is in DeFi. On what chains? Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, Near Protocol, Aurora, Polygon, Kyber, or Cardano, Mina Protocol, Kusama, Bitcoin, Terra Luna, and Polkadot, to name a few. Also, these are some of the projects they have their money tied into. Okay, they were a very key contributor in raising money for these projects to launch. You have Near Protocol, again, Avalanche, Mina, Yearn Finance, Aave, which is a huge one. Going down here, you have Perpetual Protocol, Neon Labs, Woo, Kyber, Multichain, Ardana, Finblocks, Balancer, just to name a few. Obviously, they had their money in Terraform Labs, which was Terra Luna, and that collapsed, which leads us to where we are today.
And you think they perhaps got into this situation because they were overexposed to USDT and Terra Luna?
UST, you mean?
Oh yeah, excuse me, UST.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, it would make sense. I mean, if you're already struggling to make a profit and you're kind of on the margin between having enough exit liquidity for your customers or not, and then all of a sudden you take a big L, say with billions of dollars, I mean, I could see it being the catalyst to maybe going under, right?
I mean, they're almost there. They've been getting margin calls, and they have not been answering those margin calls. They're one of the biggest lenders in the space, BlockFi. They margin called Three Arrows Capital, and guess what? They didn't even return a phone call, a text, an email, nothing. So their position on BlockFi got liquidated. Not to mention,
I would assume they're probably the biggest lender, or their biggest debt would be to BlockFi, being that they're one of the largest institutions. I don't know. You don't have the numbers on that, right?
I do not have the numbers.
But just an assumption, right?
Yeah.
So if we come to the assumption that they are the largest lending platform, probably the one that gave them the most capital, and if they haven't paid those debts back, I mean, obviously, if you don't pay your biggest debt back, you're probably not going to pay your smaller debts back, right? And so, kind of scary. I'm under the presumption that there's no saving Three Arrows Capital. That's kind of my thesis, and just simply off of, if you don't pay the mortgage, you're probably not going to pay the utilities, right? And
I agree. And here's the thing too. Their only way out is to raise more money because they're not paying their loans back. So they're either going to raise more money, but who's going to dump money into a sinking ship, or they get bought out or merge with another company.
Not to mention, I don't think there's a lot of venture capital funds just flowing into projects right now. So if you're looking to raise capital because you're underwater or insolvent, you're going to have a hard time even generating capital if you have like a blue collar project, everything buttoned up with all the bells and whistles. I mean, I just think everybody's kind of on pause right now. I mean, don't you agree?
I agree. And here's a scary thing, okay? Now, I want you to remember those blockchains, those layer ones, those projects I mentioned, Avalanche, Solana, Ethereum. Also, Robin, pull up my laptop. Three Arrows Capital has their hands in a lot of NFTs as well. So you have a few here. You have Chodes, Punkscape. You have Super Rare, ENS, Art Blocks, Crypto Cubes, Crypto Kitties, just to name a few. Rareable. I mean, they have their hands in so many projects, so many layer ones, NFTs. If they go under, Robin, what happens? What happens to these NFTs? What happens to the likes of Avalanche, Aave? Please.
Obviously, we're seeing dominoes fall as everything unfolds, right? So one, you had the Terra Luna. And all of these are interconnected. You got to think about it. Just in the same way you have traditional finance where Bank of America and Wells Fargo and you have Chase here in the United States, all of these banks do borrow and lend from each other. They don't, it is a process to go through and, buy bonds and things of that nature from the federal government, which they do, but a lot of the standard procedures to borrow from one another. You can see the same thing happening in the crypto space and in DeFi, and these lenders, they borrow from one another. So you see Three Arrows Capital, basically leveraging a loan through Aave. Now, what scares me is how was Aave exposed to Terra Luna? Was Aave exposed to Celsius? And if they were, is this going to be the straw that breaks that camel's back? I'm just hypothesizing here. There's no information about Aave or anything like that, but I'm just giving you some doomsday scenario where one by one these institutions that are leveraging debt are gonna be in a very hard position if Bitcoin keeps tumbling. I mean, we have liquidation points that are in reach right now. I mean, you have obviously what we've talked about. The Celsius at $14,000. Supposedly they've lowered it a little bit, but I mean, who else is going to get margin called or liquidated when Bitcoin, if it falls under say 18,000? And then in doing so, when one of these companies get liquidated, are they leveraging debt to another company that was in need of that debt? You know what I mean? So that's where you get in these cascading liquidations. In the same way that you have your retail traders leveraging, where you see the price of Bitcoin dumping because you have somebody overexposed with the leverage trading, they get liquidated, and in turn it drops the price, liquidates the next person and the next person. The same thing happens with institutions, but we're talking about substantial amounts of money. I mean, who was the other one that we talked about today?
So you had finblocks,
yeah,
and
Babel. So another institution, Babel. Now that one, they have $3 billion worth of debt. I mean, we're looking at an $800 billion market cap for the crypto space in general. So $3 billion is a huge amount.
And you're talking about Babel. They're down the same path Celsius is. They've halted all withdrawals. Then you have finblocks. Now, they didn't halt all withdrawals, but they gave you a limit.
$1,500 withdrawal maximum
per month
for the month. So I would imagine that their traders or their customers are probably exposed to a lot more than $1,500. I don't know what your portfolio looks like, but I'm just thinking a lot of people in crypto are heavily invested, especially if you're into a small little boutique project or something I'm not too familiar with.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know.
Here's okay, so I'll kind of wrap this up for us. So here's what I'm nervous about, okay? Robin mentioned it's not 13,000 liquidation point for Celsius's Bitcoin seems like a decent number, but like Robin said, when we get to 18, how much is getting liquidated? And then that liquidation will cause the price to jump down to, let's say, 16,000. Now you have liquidations at that point. So it just cascades down. And when you have retail and institutions that are holding on to their cash because they're going into a recession, they're not pumping the same amount of money into the crypto space as they did.
But now to keep some positivity out there, everybody does identify the Bitcoin staying power, and they do see the future. Unlike back in the 2018 and before, there was a lot of skepticism if this was going to be around for the future. So there is a lot of sentiment that this is the future. So with that said, I mean, you are going to have a ton of buying pressure as the price goes down. So, is it enough to prop it up? Is there going to be enough investment from other investment firms, from other whales, and also just maybe the retail will just FOMO in and be like, hey, I know there was so much buzz around Bitcoin over 30,000, and you know what? I was mad I didn't buy it. Maybe I'll buy it now. And, if they see a $16,000 Bitcoin, maybe there'll be enough buy pressure where, it'll be a V-shaped recovery. If we do have these liquidation, events that we're talking about. Maybe it's just like it is when we were in the bull market and we had the retail leveraging liquidations. Maybe it'll just be quick, sharp down, and then it'll quickly rebound. I don't know. That's to be seen. I mean, what do you think about that? You think there's enough buy pressure to sustain, or to pull us out of just an absolute snowball to say 9,000 and then just trade there for God knows how long?
From retail, I do not believe so. With especially here in the U.S., with the interest rates going up, spending going down, supply chain issues, people are holding on to their cash. But can I see institutions coming in finally? The banks coming in. We have a spot Bitcoin ETF around the corner, or so we're hearing rumors about. That will definitely help the price of Bitcoin. But to kind of finish this off, I'm going to leave a link to the investment, the coins and projects Three Arrows Capital has investments in. And what I'd like you to do, and this is not to spread FUD, this is not to create fear, this is to keep you educated. Click that link, go through that list of coins and projects Three Arrows Capital has invested money in. And understand that if they go insolvent and if they go bankrupt and there is no bailout, and there is no merge, and there is no money flowing into Three Arrows Capital, what will they do? What will Three Arrows Capital do with the coins that they have in their wallet from the likes of Avalanche, Near, Aave? Chances are those are going to get dumped on the market. And can some of these projects withstand that kind of selling pressure in a bear market? What I'd recommend you do, go through that list. If you have any of those coins, figure out if this gets dumped on the market, what's my recourse? What's going to happen in my portfolio? And am I comfortable with that? And if you're not, you might look at taking some profit or selling. If you are, you might hodl. Not telling you what to do. And of course, none of this is financial advice, but just stay educated. Take the resources we're giving you and just know what position you can see yourself in if it goes bankruptcy or if they find a way out of their hole.
And one more
ahead,
piece of
Robin.
advice is to come watch our live show,
Yes.
Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. Vegas time, aka 1:30 Eastern time.
That's right.
Anything else?
Also, do not forget to subscribe, like the video if you like it, and share it. Information in our space is needed, especially during these turbulent times. So with that being said, that'll do it for our video today. We hope you guys enjoy the content, and we will see you on our live stream. Take care. Peace.